Hello, my friends. This is the art of prepping. This will be another impromptu type of video, unplanned, unscheduled. We don't know what the destination will be. So as I wonder in thoughts about what to say, I'm just going to look around the beautiful area that I live in. I will say that the animals and the insects in particular have been pretty rowdy lately. Right now it seems to be kind of toned down. I think it's because of the heat. But overall though, there's been a lot of activity. And I will have to say the sun's pretty harsh the last few days. The garden is very dry. I've been having to water the garden several times a day. The plants do a little bit better in the greenhouse because it holds the moisture a little better. And at night though, the condensation and so forth basically comes back down on the plant, drips back down, if you will. So I guess what I'm going to talk about is going to be related toward our endurance as preppers. And for those people like us that have a forward-thinking, prepared mindset, just wanted to reiterate the importance for endurance, to do things for the long haul. It's not every day, though, that we feel motivated to do things, but having a long-term perspective on accumulating various types of knowledge and physical items hasn't always been a bad thing. In fact, it tends to actually propel us to excel in a lot of different areas of our life once we have foundational elements in place. Now, it is fairly common for us preppers to go through cycles, the ebb and flow of you get burnt out doing one thing and then you do another, or you try to find a balance by walking away from one category of prep or ideology and doing another. And while this is good, I do the same thing a lot of times. There's times that I'm like very focused on water storage for a whole month. And right now, for example, I don't want to talk about water storage. And I don't want to even go there. Just like there's sometimes I go a little tool heavy that month. I might bought a half a dozen new tools and I'm tooled out. Or especially right after I buy a new backpack, because the process for me personally is so arduous that I do not actually want to look at backpacks or talk about backpacks for at least 3 to 6 months after I buy a new one. In fact, all I want to do is just get the stuff that I want to put in that backpack in the backpack and get that project wrapped up. Currently, I'm looking at getting another backpack, surprise. It's been quite a while, ever since I've actually got my EDC pack quite a while back, maybe 7, 8 months ago, maybe more, I don't remember, which is kind of a good thing. Usually I remember it if it's been within 5 months just because it's still really, really new on my mind. But I really enjoy my Red Rock Transporter, I believe it's called, day pack that I'm using for my EDC bag. It works really well. So what I'm looking at now is just a minimalistic pack. It's only going to be maybe like, I'm pretty much thinking that I've figured out which one it's going to be. It's a 28 liter. It's small to medium at most size pack. It has kind of militaristic characteristics to it, features if you will. It does have MOLLE, but this is not, you know, a go bag or a bug out bag by any means. This is just on my property only. It's going to be just used around this area, just for me and me alone, and so it doesn't have to be people friendly or non-tactical and stuff like that. Typically, I would go 100% non-tactical for any kind of bag that goes in my vehicle or that may be used to egress out of my property. But in terms of things that are used on the property, I just have a handful of bags. And even waste pack systems that usually those are very non-tactical, very mainstream types of hiking and backpacking types of packs. But this one I wouldn't mind going back into maybe like an assault pack. It's kind of called that. It's just like a small to medium sized assault pack. And so it does have MOLLE all over it. And the cool thing is it comes in a coloration. This particular Red Rock I'm going to get This would be my second Red Rock, outdoor gear branded item. I like the first one. I think it's actually pretty decent for the price, and so I'm going to give me another one. And it may be until maybe I have to wait till Christmas before I do this. I usually research it. Like I say, I wait 1 to 2 months typically before I make a purchase. I've just kind of come to that conclusion. I think I want to get that last night. Now this pack, though, like I said, is 28 liters, and it's an assault type of pack, military assault pack style. And while it's not made like super heavy duty and it's not made to mil spec, the price tag reflects that. It's under $45, and roughly in that range. You can get it typically around $42 to $45, and on Amazon. And this pack, though, which really, besides some of the features, I already have like 3 packs that are almost identical in layout. So I'm very familiar with this layout already, and it already works pretty well for me. But I don't have one in this coloration, and from this particular company, they have a little bit of differences. Every company makes their packs, even if it's modeled after the same style, they're made just a little different. Not just the materials, but just a little bit different, and how things are put together and how things work. They're very close, but different. So this one's actually using my favorite color for outdoors and doing things within the outdoor type of arena, which would be the flat dark earth. And I like coyote brown, and I like olive drab, no doubt about it. And I even like tan to some degree, and I like different rich dark browns. But flat dark earth, I don't know what it is. I just have to say I'm really drawn to that color. And so yeah, this is one of the few companies that you can get a pack for like under $100 that has this color. Then I like the layout, and you can get sling packs in different sizes. Some of them are very small, but I don't like sling packs. I personally have one, but I never use it, never do. And so I did try it on today, though, just to see if I would like it again, but I didn't. I did adjust the strap to see how it fit, and I think I had it a little too tight on me, so I loosened it up, gave myself another 8 inches of strap, and it did feel better. So I may put just a few things in there and go on my next day hike and just try it one more time, but it moves around too much, and I don't feel like it's secure, and I don't like all the weight being on one shoulder and not the other, and it throws me off balance. And of course, even if you go light on what you carry in them, it just feels awkward. And maybe it's just because I like backpacks with 2 straps. So this is my little talk here. And so let's just try to be consistent, try to do things in the long term. And even if we ebb and flow, which is normal, and we come back to things eventually, this is how I find it, we may get burnt out on working on our water supplies or water filtration, or being able to basically get water. Maybe it's from rain or from a well. We get a little tired of messing with it, but maybe in a few months I'll come back to water and continue on. And so there's so many different categories of preps. There's so many things to learn. It's completely overwhelming. And that's why you have to just do 1 or 2 at a time, and not just go hog wild and just try to master everything overnight, because that's guaranteed to burn you out. And if you get burnt out on everything at once, then you're more apt to kind of walk away from the lifestyle. So it's better, if anything, to get maybe burnt out or a little tired of 1 or 2 of the categories than the whole shebang. As always, you guys take care. Let me know, though, in the comment section, though, what do you think about different techniques of not trying to get burnt out? Because ultimately, I'd rather not get burn out on anything. Do you purposely push yourself in different rhythms and say, okay, this week I'm going to do more food preps, and next week I'm not going to even think about food preps, because next week is going to be all about signaling and navigation, for example, or whatever. And so you purposely force yourself to transition to new things. I've tried that before, but I couldn't concentrate really when it came to that next week. I still sometimes was stuck in the last week because I wanted to finish certain things. And also, just an update on the ebook. Just a hair over 20% done, at least in the rough draft stage. So I should preface that. And it's very different to write an ebook on your cell phone. I have used the dictation function and feature on Word, on the Word program. It works fairly well. I have anywhere from 10 to 20% of it, though, that doesn't come out exactly as I wish, and the punctuation sometimes is a little awkward. And so I'm working on that. And today I was mostly doing about 80% of it. I typed it by my hands on this little phone, on the little keyboard, which was really ridiculous. So I only got a couple paragraphs written, and then I dictated another couple paragraphs. But I just wanted to say I'm working on it. Even though the goal is for Christmas, I can't guarantee anything, especially, depends on what I consider a finished product. I would like to, once again, to get it between the 40 to 50 page, much more like 50 pages would feel really good. And I mean, when I mean pages, I mean the actual, if you printed it on an 8.5 by 11 sheet of paper, it would actually fill the whole page, that kind of page, not an ebook page, which is typically like just a small fraction of a regular sheet of paper. So the ebook would probably be a lot more pages than 50 pages, obviously, but that's just kind of my goal, is to get 50 real pages so that you could print it out front and back, and you'd only have 25 sheets. And if you want to laminate all 25 sheets, then you could do that and have a nice little reference, a little guide for prepping. Once again, that'll be on the Kindle site on Amazon Kindle ebook, and it'll be 99 cents. Trust me, I don't almost make nothing off of this. After all those fees for selling it and everything, I'm lucky to get around 30 cents a purchase. So this is not a quick get rich scheme or any of this stuff. The only reason I'm even charging anything is because I'm not allowed to charge anything less than 99 cents. So there you go. Now, some of you guys may say, well, why don't you just put it in like a PDF form and put it in a link and under the caption or something, and just let people download it for free. Well, I have to be honest with you. I mean, as much time as I'm going to put into this, I don't think I want to basically have to have things come out of my pocket for a website or some type of storage, link somewhere that I'll have to pay to download it into there just so you can get it for nothing. I think that, if anything, it's pretty cool. I mean, I don't ask for nothing from the channel. I don't have a donation link on my channel. So this would just be one opportunity, and maybe the only opportunity here in the near future, to support the channel if you wish to do so. And so, even if you're a more advanced prepper, this is going to be, of course, for beginners and intermediate levels. But even if you read this and you find very little that will be helpful to you, you could always just print it off or give it to someone else on their electronically, give it to someone else's phone. I'm not sure how you do that, but there's probably a way to transfer it over. And you could just print it if you need to, and give it copies to other people who are new to this. And so I'm going to try to be detailed to some degree in the categories that I talk about, but I don't want to be so over the top that it's like a freaking encyclopedia, just talking about sleeping bags, for example, or something. So I'm trying to break down and outline the whole ideology of prepping, which is fairly difficult, actually, and trying to just encompass some general information about all the categories without going over the top. And so for the new people, and even some people who've been around this field for a few years, you might be able to say, oh, okay, you know what, I really haven't focused on this or that within the prepping ideology. And so, because a lot of people, believe it or not, they really do think that it's just, okay, you store a little bit of water and a little bit of food, and maybe have an emergency radio and a few extra batteries for your radio and your flashlight, and maybe have an emergency, contacts, list with phone numbers, and that's about it. I mean, that's typically really is. And when you read a lot of the government websites, especially like FEMA and Homeland Security, and maybe even your state, so if you go to your state emergency management website, it's pretty much like that. Seriously, they might have a few hygiene items on there and a few recommendations for clothing and shelter, like a blanket or something. But trust me, depending on where you're going, I've seen some websites are just these are government websites that are like ridiculously simplified to the point that it probably doesn't even give you much capability at all. I mean, it's bare bones. So we don't want to be like that. We don't want to be like at the mercy of any government organization. We want to actually be ready for it and have the capabilities to continue as normal, function as usual. And as they say, the police say, you know, business as usual. You know, when they come to a call and it was a false positive call, like someone accidentally hit the hold up alarm at the burger joint, and they get there and they call in a dispatch up. It's all normal. So business as usual. So everyone, be safe, be careful. If you just want to have any comments for the channel, also feel free to put them in the comment section. Feel free to subscribe if you haven't. This is a good, fun channel. Sometimes I do more serious things, and sometimes I don't. And sometimes I just talk. And so I don't always sit here and just ramble. I try to have at least something to ramble about. Sometimes I'll have more time to do videos. Sometimes I won't. So I can't guarantee this many videos in the future. I'm trying to just do a lot at one time, and trying to learn a lot too. And besides writing that little ebook. And so I hope everyone's cool this summer. It's still been pretty hot in most areas. So hopefully there'll be a big cool down or a cold spell here soon to give us a little break. And everyone be safe. I'll catch you soon.